Right, so we're diving into Lamine Yamal today. This kid, yeah, the football prodigy everyone's going crazy for. And, we've got his Spanish Wikipedia page, and wow, it is absolutely packed with stats, career highlights, and some pretty interesting background stuff, too. So ready to kind of go beyond the headlines with this one and see what makes this guy so special.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. I think what's so captivating about Lamine Yamal is that we're not just watching like a really talented
Yeah.
young player, but we're seeing someone just completely shattering records set by legends, and he's doing it with a style that, I mean, people are comparing him to some of the all-time greats already.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So, okay, Wikipedia tells us that he was born in Esplugas de Llobregat, Spain, back in 2007. But here's something interesting. His dad is from Morocco, and his mom's from Equatorial Guinea.
Wow, that's a very multicultural background.
Right.
Yeah, it makes you think how his upbringing, being exposed to different cultures and maybe even different styles of football, how that's shaped his playing style, because we see this incredible blend of finesse and flair in his game.
Yeah, for sure. And the Wikipedia page mentions that he grew up in Roca Fonda, which is a working-class neighborhood in Monterrey. So it makes you think about, his journey a little bit, right?
Definitely.
And facing those challenges early on fuel his determination.
Absolutely. It's not a story of privilege. This is a story of raw talent, hard work, of overcoming obstacles to reach the top. And speaking of reaching the top, we got to talk about La Masia.
La Masia.
Barcelona's legendary youth academy.
It's La Masia. It's like the Hogwarts of football, This is where legends like Messi, Iniesta, Xavi himself all came up.
And Yamal's journey starts there too.
Exactly. And it's not even just that he was at La Masia. The Wikipedia page says he was training with Barcelona's first team while he was still in the youth ranks under Xavi.
Oh, wow.
Like, think about that. A teenager, not even pro yet, holding his own with seasoned veterans, being mentored by one of the greatest midfielders of all time.
That must have been so intense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, talk about pressure.
Yeah.
But clearly Xavi saw something special in him, even at that young age.
Oh, yeah. And that leads us to his debut for Barcelona, where he just completely shattered records.
Oh, he blew them out of the water. He became the youngest player ever to appear in La Liga for Barcelona. He was only 15 years and 290 days old.
What?
But he didn't stop there. He became the youngest starter in La Liga history at just 16 years and 38 days old, and then the youngest assist provider in La Liga this century at 16 years and 45 days.
Wow.
These aren't just stats. He is rewriting football history at an unbelievable pace.
Yeah, it's almost hard to keep up with all the records he's breaking.
It really is.
And then there's his international career. He represented Spain at the youth level before making his senior debut at, get this, 16 years and 57 days old.
Unbelievable.
Youngest player and goal scorer in Spain's history.
And let's not forget, he had a choice to make. He was eligible to play for Spain or Morocco.
Right.
Deciding to represent Spain really says something about his connection to the country where he was born and raised.
For sure. For sure. It does, but it also highlights just how much competition there is for talent on the international stage.
Oh, absolutely.
When we talk about competition, we got to mention Euro 2024.
Yeah, his performance was phenomenal. Youngest scorer and assist provider in Euro history, playing a crucial role in Spain winning the tournament.
Yeah.
He was even named to the team of the tournament.
Wow.
I mean, these are achievements most players dream of their entire careers.
Yeah.
And he accomplished them at 16.
Yeah.
This kid's something else.
So, okay, what kind of player is he, though?
Right.
What's his style like?
Well, he's dynamic and he's incredibly versatile.
Okay.
His speed and dribbling are his absolute biggest weapons. Like, he's a nightmare for defenders. Primarily a left-footed forward, but what makes him so dangerous is that he can play centrally or on the wings.
Wow.
He shows incredible adaptability and awareness for someone so young.
So we have to address the Messi comparisons.
Oh,
right?
of course.
It's everywhere you look.
Yeah, it's inevitable. The technical abilities, how he just glides past defenders, the creativity in his play. It's so easy to see why people are making that connection.
Right. But it's important to remember that he's his own player, forging his own path.
Yeah.
He might draw inspiration from Messi, but he's developing a style that's all his own.
Absolutely. And he's also cited Neymar as an influence.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think it suggests that he values this blend of flair and effectiveness, which definitely comes through in his game.
For sure. for sure. I mean, from the streets of Rocafanda to the grand stage of European football, I mean, his story is incredible.
And it's just the beginning. The
Uh-huh.
world is watching, waiting to see what this prodigy does next. And it's not just us fans who are noticing, right? I mean, international media are going wild, calling him one of the most promising talents in world football. Headlines are comparing him to like absolute legends, and the expectation, oh my gosh, the expectations must be
Looks
huge.
this wave of anticipation just building and building around it. But what I find really interesting is how he handles it all. He seems so grounded, almost like unaffected by all the hype.
Yeah, that's super important, isn't it? Talent is one thing, but to have that mental strength and maturity to deal with fame and those kind of expectations at 16, that's something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It really speaks to his character. You often hear those stories about young stars struggling under pressure. But lamine Yamal seems different. He seems so focused and determined to just let his football do the talking.
Absolutely. And he's got a strong support system too, which makes a huge difference. They're helping him stay grounded, focused on what truly matters, which is developing as a player and a person.
Yeah, his journey is truly inspiring. I mean, it reminds you that success isn't just about talent. It's about resilience,
Mm.
humility and commitment to growth.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a good reminder for us as fans, to support young players like him. Celebrate their successes, but also give them the space to develop at their own pace.
Right. We can't expect perfection right away.
Yeah.
It's all about nurturing that potential and enjoying the journey.
Exactly. Now, if we go back and look at some of his specific achievements and what they actually mean for his career, breaking the youngest player record for Barcelona, that puts him in the same conversation as Messi and Iniesta, who came up through the same system. What's that kind of pressure like for a 15-year-old?
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And then to go out and perform at that level on the international stage at the Euros, I mean, that takes someone really special.
Absolutely. And remember, he's achieving all of this with this sense of joy and fearlessness. You can see it in the way he plays,
Yeah.
how he expresses himself on the pitch. He doesn't seem like he's burdened by those expectations. It's like he thrives on them.
He plays with this pure love for the game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's infectious. It reminds us why we all fell in love with football in the first place.
Exactly. Now, when you look at his stats, from the Wikipedia page, his appearances, his goals, his assists for both club and country, what really stands out to me is the consistency. It's not just a flash in the pan. He's delivering week in and week out against some of the toughest competition in the world.
And, I mean, these numbers, they're only going to get better as he gains more experience.
Okay. Oh,
It's kind of scary to think how good he could actually become.
It is. And the accolades, the Golden Boy Award in 2024 given to the best young player in Europe
Wow.
and named best U20 player in the world by the IFFHS. He's not just a prospect anymore. He's a force to be reckoned with.
It's like we're watching history unfold in real time.
Yeah.
The emergence of a potentially once-in-a-generation player.
Think about this. He was man of the match in the Euro 2024 semifinal against France, where he scored a crucial goal.
Talk about rising to the occasion, performing when the stakes are highest. That's the mark of a true champion.
And he did it with such composure and maturity beyond his years. That performance really cemented his status as a future superstar.
So what does all of this mean for his future? Where does he go from here?
That's the big question, isn't it? And while we can't predict the future, one thing's certain. He has all the tools to become one of the greatest players of all time.
He's got the talent, the drive, the mentality.
Okay.
The sky's the limit.
It's going to be fascinating to watch his journey unfold.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Lamine Yamal, one thing's for sure. This is a name that we're going to be hearing a lot more of in the years to come.
It's incredible, isn't it? He really shows what raw talent and dedication can do, and just the pure joy of playing. He just loves the game.
Yeah, and what really strikes me is, with all this hype, all the records, all the attention, he seems to be handling it all with so much grace and humility.
It's amazing, right? I mean, talent is one thing, but to have that mental strength, that maturity to deal with all that fame and all that expectation at 16, that's incredible.
It says a lot about his character, You hear about all these young stars who struggle with all that pressure, but Yamal's different.
Yeah.
He seems so focused, determined to let his football do all the talking.
Yeah, he's got that laser focus. And, he's got a great support system, too.
Yeah.
Which makes a huge difference, keeping him grounded, focused on what's important, Developing as a player and as a person.
It makes his whole journey even more inspiring. It reminds us that success isn't just about talent. You need resilience, humility, a commitment to growth.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. And it's a good reminder for us as fans, too, right? To support these young players, celebrate their successes, but also give them the space to develop at their own pace.
Yeah, we can't expect them to be perfect right away. It's all about nurturing their potential and enjoying the ride.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Lamine Yamal, I think what excites me the most is that this is just the beginning of his story.
It really is. There's so much more to come. Who knows what heights he'll reach, what records he'll break, what legacy he'll leave on the game. I guess only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Lamine Yamal's journey is going to be one for the history books.
Absolutely. And maybe the biggest lesson we can all take away from all of this is to dream big, work hard, stay humble, never stop believing in yourself. Because sometimes the most extraordinary journeys, they start in the most unexpected places.
It's such a great point. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of Lamine Yamal. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that passion for the beautiful game alive.